Everyone, this is Frank DiMora, again coming to you with the last chronicles of planet Earth. Ministry that connects what the Bible has to say in relation to current events to show us how close we really are to seeing the Lord Jesus Christ come back. Now, if this is the first time at YouTube or you just happen to find me by chance, you can go to my website to get my documentary, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. Go to www.dimoraministry.com, and once you get there, you'll see the front, the back cover of my book, and below it, there's a link. You click to the link, it'll take you right to the entire book, and you'll get it absolutely free. One of the things that I wanted to share with you today, that it's been on my heart quite a bit lately, is what the Bible does not say about the United States of America. And listening, you probably think, well, that's a peculiar thing to say, what the Bible doesn't say. But knowing what the Bible does tell us about the last world empire that's going to rule just prior to Jesus Christ coming back, it becomes very, very interesting to figure out or try to understand why the most powerful nation in the world, the United States of America, is not mentioned at all in the book of Daniel. And in the book of Daniel, and especially in chapter 2 and chapter 7, we see God has laid out for us every world empire from the time that the Babylonians were ruling, when Daniel was alive, all the way until the last revived Roman Empire that was going to be established in the last days just prior to Jesus Christ. And so in outlining every one of those world powers that would dominate the world, there is no mention at all about the United States. Now, if we're in the last times, and obviously we know that we are, because we're seeing all of the events taking place just about that the Lord warned, as it says in Matthew 24, in that chapter, he said that when you shall see all these things, you'll know that it's near, even at the door. And we are seeing all those things. So what I'm getting at is very important. Since the Bible doesn't say anything about the United States of America being any kind of superpower or world power in the last days, then something must have happened to downgrade the power of America as a superpower. And I believe what's going to happen in the very near future is America's not going to be any kind of power at all. As a matter of fact, I believe that she's going to be struggling just to survive. And I do also believe that when Jesus said in the last days in Matthew 24:7, that nation against kingdom and kingdom against kingdom, this is civil unrest. Yes, there's going to be wars against nations that will fight against nations, but the kingdom against kingdom shows us that nations will be fighting amongst themselves, which we're already starting to see. But when America's economy falls through the floor and the US dollar dies, and we're seeing signs of that now, then we know that there's going to be major chaos throughout the world, because America is supposed to be the most powerful. And most of the countries around the world, although it is starting to change now, has used the dollar as a reserve currency for many, many years, at least 50 years. And so if something happens to America, you can bet your bottom dollar, or in this case you might not want to bet your bottom dollar, that there is going to be some major events to take place. Now today I went to the Drudge Report, and on the Drudge Report, and when you scroll down, you'll see a picture that I took. And in this picture, on the top of the Drudge Report, it says, is this the end of America? And you see a little arrow that I put up there in red. I put that up there. It says right here with the arrow, you see this on Drudge Report today. Click on it and listen. Now the reason I want you to click and listen, and I've had this one video on before, but I believe that there's many people who may have not seen this. There is a gentleman by the name of Frank Porter Stansberry, and he resides in Baltimore, Maryland, and he is the editor of two internet financial newsletters. And I want to be upfront with you. I'm putting some information online here so that you, when you go down after you see this video, you'll be able to read some of the information. And I have two links that will tell you a little bit about uh, Frank Porter Stanberry, who is this financial investment advisor. And there is some question about his character because he was involved in a court case. And I've put this information up for you as well so that you'll be able to make your own discernment, uh, whatever you want to believe about him. But I will say this, I did make a phone call to his office, and I'm going to get an email within an hour or 2 hours. They're really busy, but they will email me, as at least this is what they said, from Stansberry office, and that they're going to email me about the case so that you'll understand exactly what had happened. And as again, I wanted to put this up front so that you all know. This way I won't get any more emails saying, did you know that this man's character was in question? Yes, I do know, but there's also some other issues here. And I put part of the information on that on my website. And it talks about being in fairness with concerning Stansberry, and I quoted part of the article so that you'll see it. And let me just read this one part. It says, in fairness, it must be noted that in this case, there's no pump or dump, undisclosed ownership of stocks and options, or direct gain from the buying or selling of the representative securities ever was an issue. So within this court case, as you see the quote that I just said, there wasn't any problem with that. So that is good. Now, as I said, you'll get the information and you could wait out yourself. But here's why I mentioned this, and this is one of the reasons why I want you to please listen to this in-depth study that Stansberry made. Now, put aside, if you will, the court case that you may read about him, and look at strictly now just the facts that he has given to you. And these facts you can do a search for yourself, and you'll see that his facts are correct. Now, what I want to say is this. Stansberry comes from expertise in his advisory as a financial advisor. He doesn't ever mention whether he is a Christian man or a non-Christian man. He's just given us the facts about what he sees with the U.S. economy and what's happening with the dollar and what is going to make the dollar bust. I have come with the approach, and by no means am I a financial advisor, nor will I ever going to claim to be a financial advisor. All I'm doing is taking what I know, what the Lord has shown me through His Word, through prophecies, and then I'm relating to what we know is going to happen in the future, and that's 100%, because God is always 100%. His prophecies never fail. So I know for a fact I could stand on the Lord's Word knowing what's going to happen in the future, especially when it comes to this new world empire that's going to rise, when I believe is going to be from a downfall in the global economic scene. So I'm coming with a perspective of Bible information, and then what I have done is I filled the gaps to show you, look at the events that are taking place, and then understand what the Lord is showing us, and you put it together and you get a clear picture of where we are going. And this clear picture shows us that very, very soon the American dollar is going to collapse, and that when it does, we are going to see some pretty nasty things take place in the United States like you've never seen before. And again, Jesus did tell us you'd see civil unrest, and I believe that as the other countries are already experiencing the civil unrest, especially going on in Europe now with their austerity budgets and cutting back, that these things will also head towards the United States as well. Now, in the video that you're going to see from the Stansberry, where he dictates everything that was going to take place, there are everything that he's saying. I have been warning you on my website for the last 4 or 5 years. I've been giving you all the documentation, showing you, why American, the dollar is dying, where it's going, and what the Bible has to say about the last world empire. And in my book, in chapter 1, if you had the time to read completely chapter 1 of my book, all the documentations and the facts that I have given to you from news sources from all over the world, those same news sources and the information that I've been gathering both at my website and in my book, when you listen to what Stansberry's saying, even though we're coming at two different approaches, mine comes from the biblical approach and his from a financial approach, you'll find out that both of the evidence is linked together. In other words, what I've been saying for the last 5 years on the website and since 1977, that I've been warning people about what was going to happen in the future with the dollar, that it is actually happening. He agrees and I agree, and we wrote these things separately. I didn't even know this gentleman, but he is saying the exact same things that I have been saying. And it just gives, to me, I look at this and say, well, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I can look at the Bible and I can discern from what God, what Jesus has told me and what he has shown me, and I'm getting exactly the same message that this financial advisor, and that's just Paul or Frank Stansberry, but when you look at Gerald Celente, who I didn't even know of until a few years back, who is one of the leading trend setters. He is a trendsetter that he hasn't been wrong in 30 years, and he's accurately predicted exactly what was going to happen in the future, and everything that Celente has predicted has come to pass. And he is also saying the same thing, that the dollar is going to die, there's going to be civil unrest, and so forth. Now, I want to put up, and I did put up, because in the Stansberry report that I please listen to what he says, and then come back, scroll down. I'm going to give you the information that will substantiate what he just said. New information that is taken out that you could see for yourself, that is very, very important, that shows what he is saying and what these other people are saying is actually, we're on the road to see that take place. So please scroll down, and I'll continue on the update for today, January 6th. Thanks.